Future Jam.
Welcome to the Future Jam, a tech news podcast for enthusiasts and casual listeners alike. I'm Mike, and once again, I'm here with Alex.
And we should also lump in, because my wife listens to this, people who don't care about technology.
Yeah, I don't know why you'd be listening to this, but, because we have hilarious, jokes, I guess, maybe.
I think it's just because she supports me and she loves me.
Yeah, that makes more sense. I don't remember the last time we said anything funny on this show.
Next time, you haven't said anything funny.
That's true. You say a lot. But, you know what? You want to just jump right into it this week? Let's just skip the rigmarole and just get right in to this dumb tech of the week.
That tech is dumb.
There you go. We'll just do a new drop of you saying that every time. First one up, we have two this week. Apple faces lawsuit over its iTunes buy button. When you get something on iTunes or Amazon, like a movie, for instance, you purchase it, you assume that it's going to be in your library, as long as you have an account, right?
Yeah, it should be there.
Well, I mean, that's what I've always assumed. If I bought something from iTunes, it's going to be there as long as iTunes exists. And Apple and Amazon and all these companies are saying that's not the case. I guess they could take it away whenever they want.
Yeah, so Apple's getting sued because because they can take the music you bought or movies you bought and remove them from your iTunes because they have to have licensing agreements. But they're getting sued because the person who's selling them said the buy button is deceptive. Because if you buy something, you just assume you own it for the life of it, like you were saying. But Apple's response was no reasonable consumer would believe that it would remain indefinitely. I think majority, probably all consumers thought they would have it for the lifetime of iTunes.
Yeah, and also who reads the huge long list of stuff that probably won't happen to your stuff, the agreement you sign. Yeah. Do you ever read those? I just click yes, and I probably shouldn't, but I just click yes every time.
Man, no one reads that stuff. Because they wrote there's 10 pages of it, and it's all small print.
You don't print yours out and keep it in a file folder somewhere to look at later on?
I have my filing cabinet next to me.
In a cabinet? No, but seriously, I just have always assumed that was the case. And I don't buy much digital media. I usually bought Blu-rays and DVDs. I was a big fan of that type of stuff. But yeah, I would be pretty ticked off if my purchases just started disappearing from my library.
Yeah, I wonder with Vudu, how would that work going forward? Because that's a big market for people to buy movies now.
I assume it's that way on any platform that you go to.
Well, Amazon, don't they have the rent or buy button?
So, yeah, technically buying now, I guess, is a rent until they decide to take it away. They should just call it rent until we don't want to give it to you anymore. I don't know. What would you rename the button?
Just rent is the best one for it, but...
Borrow. Maybe borrow?
Yeah, borrow.
But then who's going to pay $10 or sometimes the buys are $20. Who's going to pay $20 to borrow an item? If you think you're owning it, you're willing to pay that higher price. But then you realize, oh, wait, I actually don't own this. And yeah, it's just, I think we still haven't gotten to the point where getting digital media is purchasing the actual physical product.
But I think everybody thinks it is, though, right?
Yeah, they do. And you assume that buying from a company like Apple, if you're choosing what company to buy from, Apple, Amazon, Vudu, I would probably buy from Apple because Vudu sounds like a company that's going to go out of business next year.
Yeah, somebody's going to buy them up, I think.
Yeah, or somebody's going to buy them up and my content's going to be gone. So
I'm basing off nothing, but I thought they were backed by Walmart or something like that, maybe.
Walmart owned them at a portion of them at some point, and it keeps changing hands, I believe, and yeah.
But with this, when you're buying music, you just think about when I bought a cassette or I bought a CD, you just own that music for the life of the CD. And Apple, iTunes kind of marketed that way. You're buying the music, you're owning this music.
Yeah.
And now, I know they have the licensing agreements and things like that, but you did say we were buying this music. We should just have the access to that music.
In a way, digital technically should be a upgrade because CDs degrade over time and go bad. Records go bad eventually, and tapes go bad. But if you bought a digital copy, as long as they keep that like up on the servers, technically it has like a unlimited lifespan. So you'd assume that it's yours.
Well, and you just saw this with the PlayStation store with the PS3 and all. People wanting the games that they've owned. It's not like PlayStation says that they were less like, oh, it's going away. You don't get these anymore. But now, like, you're just keeping them for the lifetime that you own the game.
So something needs to be done here. I don't know what they're gonna do, but I just think it's very confusing for the consumer. And
well, I just didn't like how Apple's like, no reasonable customer. Everybody thought that.
Yeah, I think they're trying to cover their ass, and
when I buy like a shirt, it's not like the Macy's can take it back anytime they want.
No, they can't, and they probably wouldn't want it back after you stretch the neck hole out. Like,
well, you know how I pull my shirts off? I always pull like the thing so I can pull it down over my shoulders.
Yeah, you always act like you're Incredible Hulk or something. I don't know what's going on over there, but
well, you're always making me mad.
Yeah, that's true. You want to jump on to the next Dumb Tech of the Week?
Yeah, we got a battle of two heavyweights.
Well, I mean, one heavyweight and one that's pretty big in its space, but Roku is basically at a standoff with Google over YouTube TV and the YouTube app and YouTube Music, all that stuff. But they've been throwing out some big punches lately, like they've been really going at Google hard. Like, did you read all their comments and stuff that they were talking about?
Yeah, they want Google. They're saying Google wants them to have certain like chipsets and memory requirements for the devices that would cause Roku to increase their prices. They want YouTube and YouTube TV to be prominently placed on like its own line. If you search something through the Roku like voice thing, like especially music, they want YouTube Music to be like the first one to come up. I can see Google wanting this stuff. I mean, I can see it being a negotiation tactic, but also like Google has their own TVs. They don't want Roku to be around. They want people to buy Google TVs.
Well, also Google's a big competitor with them now because they have the Google Chromecast with Google TV now, so that's like directly competing with them, and it's probably a popular seller. I bought two, so I have one in the basement and one upstairs. But Roku's like alleging like malicious intent. Like they're going in all the way with this. Like they said that YouTube was a monopoly that was trying to strong-arm Roku into accepting predatory and anti-competitive discriminatory conditions. Like that's like a direct quote from them.
My brother actually has YouTube TV and a Roku, and he got the email from Roku saying that. They sent me a screenshot of it.
Oh, so he actually got the email about it?
Yeah.
That's crazy. I didn't realize they would. I guess this article is saying that I didn't realize they actually emailed this out to everybody. I have a Roku TV upstairs. I didn't get the email, but
we just have a Roku stick. But I think because he has YouTube TV, maybe they.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
It. But yeah, they're saying that they might have to remove YouTube TV from the device.
I did read into this further, and it makes sense that Google would ask them to, like, if you use the voice search if you're in the YouTube app and use the voice search to keep that in the YouTube app. I guess Roku voice search, if you do that, it'll bring you to the homepage.
Yeah.
And I guess Google wants you to remain in the YouTube app. It's a weird, trivial. I feel like it's a little trivial, and I think Roku's making a little bit too much out of it. But I'm sure that there's a little bit of both on this. Like, I'm sure YouTube is requesting some of this stuff.
But, like, Roku also, like, I don't think wants to be pushed around by, like, because they've had a standoff with NBC, HBO Max, now Google. Like, they understand their place that they understand that a lot of people have Roku TVs because they're good TVs or Roku sticks because they're good devices. They're relatively cheap. You know, you're getting, like the Roku stick, I do think it's better than, like, the Fire Stick. Like, it just works well. They do one thing. They do it really well. And I think they know that, and people like their products, but they're not. We'll get into them later, but right now they're not content creators. So
yeah, but their strong arm tactics here are kind of biting them in the butt a little bit, because I personally bought both my Google devices because they were not adding the HBO app. Like, they took the HBO app away, and I feel like that was something that Roku's in. Like, they were trying to, like, something weird was off about that one. Nothing really came out, but I specifically bought these Google devices because they had HBO Max.
Well, they eventually added HBO Max. How long until Google TVs get rid of HBO Max? They're going to have to work out some deal with them.
Maybe eventually, but Google TV, Google runs the same thing as the phone. So I don't think HBO is going to take away the phone app, Like, that's not going to happen. So Google's already in a better position as far as they have a big platform of phones plus these new devices that run on the TVs. So I don't know. But Google released a statement after this email, and basically they said, we have been working with Roku in good faith to reach an agreement that benefits our viewers and their customers. Unfortunately, Roku often engages in these types of tactics in their negotiations. We're disappointed that they chose to make baseless claims while we continue our ongoing negotiations. All of our work with them has been focused on ensuring a high quality and consistent experience for our viewers. We have made no requests to access user data or interfere with search results. We hope we can resolve this for the sake of our mutual users. So, I guess Google's like not one to sling mud like Roku, but I don't believe Google 100%.
No, Google's not not the most upstanding company in the world. So
no.
But like, this isn't like the only time we've seen somebody do this tactic. You always saw that with like DirecTV when they went against Viacom or Spectra.
It's so annoying when all these companies do this though, because we always lose out.
Yeah. Eventually, like, they make a deal. Sometimes it does last for a while, like in some areas. Well, luckily in our area we haven't had too many of these.
Well, there's currently, when Bally Sports bought Fox Sports Ohio from Disney, they didn't add their application to YouTube TV or any of the other cable streaming services. So they're still negotiating that out as well. So yeah, there's like little weird negotiations here and there, like local sports and all that. But
yeah, I'm sure YouTube will work it out with Roku. They need each other.
Yeah. Well, they haven't removed the app yet, so
not yet.
We'll see if it even comes to that point. We'll probably cover it if it does, but I think they're just saying stuff right now, and hopefully it won't get so far as to remove YouTube and YouTube TV and all that stuff. But ready to jump into the tech news bites, Alex?
Yep. Got my alarm set, and go, Mike.
Tech news bites.
NASA's rover makes breathable oxygen on Mars. Last week we covered that NASA tested out a helicopter in space on Mars.
So yeah, the same mission up in space. So they're doing other things, but they created this MOXIE. It's called the Mars Oxygen Insight Resource Utilization Experiment. So what they're doing is, because 96% of the atmosphere in Mars is carbon dioxide, and humans can't breathe carbon dioxide.
Well, I can. Oxygen. I'm pretty good at it.
Well, yeah, we all know you're Mike, the carbon dioxide man.
That's true.
So, but they were able to strip the carbon dioxide CO2. So they're able to strip out the oxygen and make oxygen that's breathable for people that can make 5 grams of the gas, which would be 10 minutes of breathe time for astronauts.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We can use it to help make rockets go. They said they can scale this up and pretty much make oxygen on the planet for all the colonists, because you don't want to transport all this oxygen across from Earth. That's not a good idea and probably wouldn't be a viable solution. So this is the best way to go about it.
This is really cool, I think. Like, you're getting more to like the idea of people want to live on a different planet. This would be a huge first step, but it was only the first test, so they're gonna try if they scale it up. Okay, next topic, Mike.
Next topic up is Disney's new Imagineering project. Kiwi is a free walking robot that will make you believe in Groot. And Groot is from Guardians of the Galaxy. I'm sure everybody's seen that movie by now. But a walking tree, not real, but they're trying to make it real. Pretty cool.
It looks awesome. Did you see the video?
Yeah, I watched the video. What is it, like 2 or 3 feet tall?
Yeah, I think so. So they want, like, right now they're making smaller robots, and this has always been like Disney's dream. Like, this is like the end game for like animatronics, and Disney's always been like on the forefront.
They want these to go into their like Disney parks, though, right? So people can interact with the creatures in their movies, I guess. Yeah,
and you see a Groot walk around. I know neither one of us are big Groot fans. I think he's overrated, in my opinion. But like, this is like just watching the video, and there's a whole bunch of technology that went on with it. They've been working on it for 3 years, but it does look awesome. It does look real, like it.
So basically, this is like the next iteration of the rat that sings at the pizza place.
Yeah, audio animatronics.
Yeah, what pizza? Chuck E. Cheese's. This is like the next iteration of Chuck E. Cheese's.
Yeah, Disney's the one that invented audio animatronics way back when.
This doesn't even seem close to being ready to go, though. Like,
oh, not at all. This is just a prototype, but this is what the future entails. Like, supposedly they have a thing in Disneyland. They have like this animatronic Spider-Man that's going to be able to jump rooftops. That's supposed to be opening soon. Like, so that's cool. Like, but they're pushing the envelopes. Just check out the video. It's really cool looking.
Yeah, we'll put the link in the show notes. But it's neat. I hope they can do this in movies too, because this would probably be better than CG, honestly, like computer generated like stuff.
Well, there was that really good one. The CG was really good. AI, did you see that? They made that robot look just like Haley Joel Osment.
That was Haley Joel Osment.
No, that was a robot.
No, it wasn't. But
you sure?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. But you want to jump on to the next one?
Yeah, keep going.
The U.S. Army is currently testing a powered exoskeleton called ExoBoot. This is not from a video game. Sounds like it is. I'm sure there's in Ratchet and Clank, the video game, I'm sure there's an ExoBoot in that game. I'm pretty sure there is, actually. But
yeah, the magnetic boots you use to walk up walls.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, they basically, in the testing phase, they strap like a bunch of sensors to the, I guess, the testes. Not, that makes me sound like they attached sensors to testicles, but no, to the heads of the
I don't think when you said testes, anybody thought of testicles except for yourself. But yeah, so my Mike's
do that part.
No, keep it in.
Okay.
So as Mike is laughing over there. No, they had 40 reflective dots and like 120 electrodes throughout the body. And they were able to like watch somebody walk on a treadmill for an hour and like recalibrate the boot. So the goal is that they will be able to carry heavy loads for long times and their feet won't hurt. It sounds kind of lame. The title sounds a lot cooler than what it seems like. It just seems like robotic boots.
Yeah,
Magic.
I think I've seen like stuff like this before, because they've made like ones that go all the way up your leg and wrap around your waist, and it helps you pick up boxes and stuff. I've seen stuff like that being used at like factories or just to transport cargo easily without like heavy machinery. But I just don't see this becoming a thing, because that's just another thing that a soldier would have to charge up and use on the field, and something that could go wrong,
Yeah, it's just magic legs. No, but they don't know if it actually will work or anything. It's just something they're trying to do.
Yeah, it's an okay idea. We'll see if it ever happens. But this is something Alex brought to my attention. Samsung has a new reality TV show on Hulu, and it's all about their S21 Ultra phone and its camera. It's kind of like a competition show, like a reality TV show where people compete to see who can take the best pictures. It's a long, long show, too. Like, I tried watching the first episode, Alex, and it's 58 minutes long.
Yeah, so it's your standard if you're a reality TV show competition fan. It's like your standard show, like Master Chef or Next Great Baker, or where you have, like, they have, like, a competition in the beginning, and then they have, like, a main competition, and somebody gets eliminated. But the whole goal is to promote this the newest Samsung phone, to show like all the quality of pictures you can take. And look, I mean, it's a cool idea. It's 6 episodes. They have 8 contestants. I made it through 10 minutes. I wanted to watch more, and then I just got busy.
It was all right. There was not one person in that show that I thought, oh, okay, this person's interesting. I'm rooting for this person. The ideas were kind of contrived as well, kind of lame. It'd be neat if it showed you how to use the camera to its like the best of its abilities and stuff. Most people just point and shoot, honestly. Most people don't delve into all the manual settings and like because all these like phone cameras now have like all these manual settings you can dig down into, and you could pretty much take professional pictures with them for the most part.
And I think that's what they're trying to show. It's a cool concept and something like out there, but I feel like they didn't really advertise it that well. But it's on Hulu if you had a Hulu subscription. Mike doesn't want to do a breakdown of each episode on the podcast like I wanted to.
No, I mean 58 minutes long for one episode. That is an awful long time for a reality TV show to watch, honestly.
Okay, next topic.
All right, the next topic up is a Scottish university finds new life for old wind turbine blades. The reason why I put this in here, Alex, is I keep seeing people sharing this article that we shouldn't use wind turbines because the blades after they're done being used are not recyclable and they just pile up in a junk pile somewhere. And that's their only reason why we shouldn't use. There's all these people going after wind power like left and right. For some reason, it gets a lot of hate, and I don't get it.
Mike, you need to get off the ExxonMobil website.
Yeah, well, it was it was a family member, so.
The University of Scotch-Clyde. I don't know. It's in Scotland. They figured out pretty much the way to recycle all of the fiberglass that is used in these wind turbines. Through like the process. They didn't really go into detail on the process.
It's probably long and intensive and might not be actually viable, but it's a smart idea to do this.
But they said if they recycle it, there will be enough for, because they said it's pretty much brand new like material once they're done with it.
Yeah, they said they can do like mid-grade, high-grade fibers. So they could use off a whole broad spectrum of the market. And fiberglass is used in all sorts of things, like from high-performance vehicles to your house insulation. I'm surprised they couldn't just break it down and make insulation out of it.
Well, that's the thing. Like, if you have money or were smart and could figure out a way how to recycle it like these people are doing and got into, like, the recycling business of wind turbines blades, I feel like you can make a ton of money.
And probably the reason why there's not a lot of people doing this because there's probably not a lot of waste currently from it, and it's probably just starting to become more of an issue. So if something can be used, people aren't just going to let it go to a landfill. People are going to figure out a way to like extract more use and money out of it. Like they're just not going to throw it away.
Okay, next topic.
All right, next topic up. Dutch politicians were tricked by deepfake video chat. This should be dumb tech of the week material because I feel like politicians are pretty dumb as far as tech goes, but.
Yeah, so they were having a video chat with Leonid Volkov.
I let you take that one because I didn't. Leonid Volkov. I think he's the Russian opposition leader for Alexei Navalny's chief of staff.
Yeah, he's the chief of staff for Russian opposition leader, and there's been a whole bunch going on in Russian politics, and that is not our forte. Technology is not really our forte either, but we talk about that. But Russia politics. So, like, a lot of countries were wanting to meet with this guy because there's been, like, a whole big going on. I know, but they weren't the only country. Like they had whoever this imposter was had a conversation with Latvian and Ukrainian politicians. They tried to get in touch with the UK and Estonia. I mean, it's kind of scary because you don't know what's going on. If you like think you're talking to somebody, they don't know if this was just like a prankster or if this was like a government that was doing this and setting up these meetings.
Why the governments don't have like secure forms of communication? Because like if I'm communicating with another business, I have to have their email address, call them via like a proper method, and that's legit. So this person would have to deep fake like the actual video, plus have like a legitimate looking contact information and stuff. So I feel like somebody let this one slip through.
I think they were probably just excited to get like the invite to talk to this guy, and then didn't think it through. Well, you have all these people that like prank call like news conferences and things like that. So it's not.
Yeah, people just don't know how to lock all this new tech down, like all the video conferencing apps. Like they probably will go public sometimes accidentally, or all sorts of little things that people do with those stupid video conferencing apps.
Now it's time to tell you, Mike, this is a deepfake. I'm not actually Alex.
I bought that. Yeah, I bought that you're not really Alex. Who are you?
What?
Who are you then?
I got nothing. Hey, moving on.
All right, next one up is experiment lets you skip hey company name of big company Google for assistant voice commands. I'm not going to say the actual hey word because I don't want to wake your device if you have one, but I like this idea. It's called Project Guacamole, but it lets you do like quick voice commands. Not like all the voice commands are going to be available, obviously, but quick ones to skip the hey command. So you could just say turn off the lights as opposed to saying hey blah, turn off the lights. Different things like that. I'm all for it, but I guess a lot of people have privacy concerns around this.
Yeah, I think it just depends on how the technology works. I don't think... I think it would be set up, because they said you could do it now with, like, the phone ringing.
Yeah, you can already do it with
phone
that.
call, like, stuff like that. I mean, it just makes sense. Yeah, I think, like, the whole, like, hey, Siri, hey, Google, hey... I'm saying it, I don't care if it activates your phone. I think people are just, like, tired of that. So this is just the next stage in... evolution for these.
If alarm's going
technology
off, I could just say stop as opposed to hey Google stop or whatever. So yeah, you're right, but I guess the privacy concerns are like, oh, they're always recording my voice or whatever. I'm like, well, that's what it's doing already.
Yeah, they're doing it.
It's like they're getting into semantics here, but like regardless, you have an open microphone in your house that's going to record your voice. So I don't know what you're like complaining about. Like it's happening regardless. So
yeah, and like I don't use like the voice assistants ever, but I know a lot of people that do. If it just makes it a little bit easier for you, just use it.
Yeah,
it's not a big deal.
I'll turn it on until somebody hacks my voice and takes over the podcast one day.
Hi, I'm Max Sandberg, and welcome to the Future Jam. It's gonna be me.
Take it over. So let's jump on to the final one of the week. Toyota is buying Lyft's autonomous car division for $550 million. Sounds a little steep, honestly. That's a lot of money to spend. But I guess every company's trying to get their hands on autonomous tech because that's like a new type of business model that's coming forth that will be big down the road. But
yeah, a lot of these companies are getting bought by the big automakers. And this is just the latest example of a company that does one thing and thinks it could easily move over to something else and getting bought out. So at level 5, Lyft's division of autonomous cars.
Yeah.
I mean, Lyft is probably like, well, we have these cars. This way we don't have to pay employee, but like, you're not engineers. Like, it's not that, I don't think it's as easy as people think it is.
No, I think it's like kind of like throwing your money down a black hole. And, it's probably best to give this to a company that is going to have more money to back it up. And Toyota has tons and tons of cash on hand.
Well, like you also used to making cars. Like, that's not something as easy as people think it is. Like, look at Tesla how long it took them to actually get like a good car.
Look at Apple. They're trying to figure out a way to make a car, and they can't get anybody to partner with them because they're afraid.
Yeah, it's not as easy. It's just like a lot of these tech companies that do some things really well think it's just easy to get in other markets by throwing money at them. And like we talked about those flying, like the automation for like the airplanes last week. And like you have these companies building their own airplanes. And like that's a whole nother feat. You're doing two things at the same time. You're trying to design a well-made airplane and then trying to automate something. And that's what these companies are trying to do with these cars and then automate them. It's not that easy.
So let me pose this, though. What if all these companies are only doing this because they know that they can come up with something that's halfway decent and another company will buy it? So say Lyft put like $50 to $100 million into this idea and they developed something that's halfway decent. They were able to turn that around and sell for $550 million. So maybe some of these companies are looking at it as a way to like get some extra cash. Once they develop something that's somewhat viable, they could sell it to somebody else that would actually take full advantage of it.
I can see that, but I can also see Lyft because Uber did the same thing. They sold off their autonomous car division too.
In 2018, right? Or like 19?
Yeah, it was late.
I had no clue Lyft had one, and I had no clue that Lyft would keep theirs longer than Uber, because Lyft is like the off-brand Uber, so.
Yes, I suppose they're a better company than
Uber. But people don't think of Lyft as much as Uber, honestly. But
no, I think it's these companies, especially these companies, think like, hey, we have these drivers. If you can find a way to not have drivers and just have cars going, it will eventually make us more money because we're not paying drivers that's coming directly to us.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. They're hoping to cut out the middleman in there, but it's not. It didn't work out for Uber. Didn't work out for Lyft, and I think this whole driverless thing is going to take a lot longer than anybody expects it to.
No, you just had that crash with the Tesla cars. Tesla said somebody was in the driver's seat. The report says some people weren't in the driver's seat, or at least weren't driving the car when it crashed.
They weren't in the driver's seat. Were they taking a nap in the backseat or what?
I don't know. You see that all the time with people.
I just blame user error on that one, honestly. I blame that on the users.
I think it's a combination of both because like these technologies, like companies, it's like they make it seem like it's just the autonomous stuff is just perfect at this point, but it can malfunction at any time.
Yeah, but if you have one, I'm sure you'd realize like pretty soon that it's not perfect, and it probably tells you quite often that you can't use it here and you can't use it there.
No, I told you that. I think it was the Nissan Vogue commercial where like they're driving through all different types of weather, and then they're like, then it's like a whole bunch of traffic, and the guy's like, well, I'll just put it on autonomous, and he just takes his hands off the wheel, and the car's driving with all these cars around it. Like that's what they're like telling people that these cars can do.
I would do that in traffic though, maybe, because it's usually like 5 miles per hour, but anything faster than that I probably wouldn't mess with.
No, the only time I would use it if I'm like eating a Big Mac in the car.
You do love your Big Macs.
Which is all the time.
Yeah, all the time.
I would probably use it all the time. Let's get into news stories. We're blew past the 2-minute topic.
Yeah, 2 minutes.
You didn't think,
it's all relative.
You didn't think that topic was going to take 2 minutes. You wanted to get rid of it.
Yeah, I still wanted to get rid of it. Let's jump into our stories of the week. And the first one up is kind of like we've been kind of talking about work from home a lot over the last couple weeks. I think we brought it up a few times. But Microsoft has really been looking into it a lot, and they have a lot of their own data from their own employees and like how they work and use the work from home time and stuff. But I just found this very interesting because a lot of people supposedly like working from home, but this is like showing that maybe that's not so much a good thing, or we have to figure out a ways to do it better so people aren't like exhausted and feel like all their time's taken up.
Yeah, so they're saying, pretty much that people aren't as happy as people are making it seem about working from home. So they said like 61% of like people in like leadership roles describe like working at home, and 23 points less than that or like the people who are like this processors or people not in management roles don't really like working from home.
Yeah,
I think the issue.
Did they attribute it to kind of like the boss doesn't get to see the employee's plight, and they kind of just like don't get to like look the employees in the eye and see like, hey, this person looks like they're overworked, or this person looks like they need a break or whatever. Like the boss just doesn't see the employees much anymore.
Well, I think it's when you have these, like when you're in the office, you're the CEO or boss, and you might just both be going to get a cup of coffee. You have like these quick conversations that are like 5 minutes, like, oh, how are things going? Oh, it kind of sucks. I had these couple trouble cases I had to work on or something like that.
Yeah.
When you're in like a virtual meeting or something like that, when people are like, oh, how are things going? Everybody's just like, fine, good. Like, you don't really think about it. You're just trying to get through the meeting. Or if they like somebody sends you an IM, like how things are looking, you just so, oh, it's fine. So I don't think you're getting like the honest feedback if you're just like talking to somebody face to face, and I think that's part of the issue.
Yeah.
They're saying a lot of people don't feel like heard or anything like that when they have these meetings over or working remotely.
Also, I saw that there was a 52% increase of instant messaging between like the hours of 6 p.m. and midnight. And they also said that people were on for 4 more hours a week than on average than they would be before. And I was really thinking about like why that would be the case as well. And as far as my role goes, people expect you to be responding like right when office hours would normally open. And some people like work a lot later now, and they would expect you to respond even later when they're still working at 7 or 8 o'clock. You get all these like messages like all through the day because people are working. Because I guess working from home, a lot of people don't have set times anymore. A lot of people can flex their time more. So you're getting responses from somebody working at 8 o'clock sometimes, or somebody working like way earlier.
Well, and I think I talked to a couple of my coworkers, and the one lady was like, yeah, I just kind of work through lunch now when I'm at home. Because like, you don't have anything to do. Like, you eat your lunch, and like at work, like usually when you eat your lunch, you have to get up, go somewhere. Usually see somebody and talk to them. If you're just home by yourself, like, you just get your lunch in your kitchen, and then like a lot of people aren't realizing like you need to take that time for yourself.
Yeah,
like,
you don't log off. You're always shown as online. You're eating your lunch and you're online.
Yeah, and like my thing has always been like, especially like at home, like I'll go watch a TV show for like a sitcom for like 20 minutes for my lunch break, and like I've always felt like I need a lunch break during the day, especially like just to get through the day.
Mm-hmm.
Like I know a lot of people that like love working through lunch, especially like if like overtime's offered, and like I know people like, oh, I have to work through lunch to get this done, and I always been like, I need that 45 minutes. Like I need that break. I need to talk to like the people I lunch with every day, just to kind of reset for the afternoon. Like this week, I've been only taking 15 minutes lunch because I have to flex time and make it up.
Mm-hmm.
And like that 15 minutes lunch is just not enough time like to reset yourself during the day.
No, I don't think it is either. Like, because if you don't take a break, you just feel exhausted, mentally exhausted by the end of the day, I feel like. And also, like, taking breaks helps you like refresh a little bit, and you can have a clearer mind to like work, like not harder, but like, yeah, I feel like you work smoother in a way.
And I think people also, like, when they're working at home, like, kind of want to justify, like, how much work they're doing, because people can't see you working.
Yeah, maybe
And,
that's
like,
also, they want to look like they're available so they don't look bad. Like, oh, Johnny is still probably at home watching, like, TV or whatever. But one other thing they attributed to this is since you're not bumping into, like, your coworkers at work, people are scheduling, like, meetings and hangouts and stuff like that, like with coworkers, just to kind of like stay connected. And so like that's added on additionally to like the usual work. And they did that a lot at my job, like, oh, do this happy hour or, you know, whatever. And it's just like added on things that obviously not required, but if you don't go to it, you look bad, or you feel like you're like people won't remember you. And maybe when it's time for a promotion, you might get looked over or whatever.
Yeah, and I think like this, like working from home really put a strain on because Americans have like a work culture, like things revolve around work, and it kind of shows like your wealth and your standing and all, and we're driven to work as a society instead of like driven like to as a like a lifestyle, like to enjoy life.
Yeah.
And I think working from home for a lot of people really put more pressure on that to show you're working and work more, and like people like, and you even see it now, like people taking less vacation time and things like that. Well, you just need to take it.
Well, I mean, I don't know if you could really count the vacation thing into this because there wasn't really any word of vacation last year. They were like begging people to take vacations last year, and nobody wanted to because there was nowhere to go. There was nothing to do.
Just taking a day off from work, that's so much better. I had a day off last week because my son was sick.
Yeah.
And I literally did nothing but watch the Mighty Ducks trilogy. It was awesome. It was my son's first time watching them. I feel like he really soaked them in.
But you don't think to like take like just a day to yourself. Like I never really think of that. Like I have all this PTO built up and I'm like, yeah, I should just take one day off. I'm like, what am I going to, I get the stress of like, what I'm going to use that day for. Like if I'm going to waste it, like what's the point of taking it, So yeah, I understand that a little bit. But they suggested a few things, and one of them was they tried to build in a virtual commute into like the software where you would log off 30 minutes early and people wouldn't be able to ping you or whatever or contact you, and you could kind of use that time to wind down. I think that's kind of a dumb idea. Just leave your desk.
Did you get stuck in traffic?
Yeah, virtual commute. I'm not doing a virtual commute, sorry.
No, I think just need more flexibility, and I think people just need to like find a system that works from home for them if they're working from home. I don't necessarily like working from home myself. I kind of like going into the office, mostly because my computer setup here is not great. I think if it was better, but like I kind of just like getting out of the house a little bit. It changes up. I imagine a lot of people that's like working from home full time. It kind of can bear down on you.
Yeah, I feel like that as well. Sometimes you get kind of stir crazy in your house, and you want to get out and talk to people that you know from work and stuff. And I don't really get anything out of like Zoom meetings or anything like that. Like,
you don't get anything out of this meeting?
This is different, Alex. This is face to face.
This is special.
This is special. But yeah, I don't get much out of most Zoom meetings because it's talking about work and stuff like that. But
no, I watched this documentary where this guy and his wife and kid went up to a hotel, and like he was a writer and he was trying to write, and he just kind of went like stir crazy.
It's called The Shining.
Yeah, you watch it?
I thought for sure you'd actually give us a real recommendation this week, but you're building into it, and then I'm like, no, there's no documentary about this.
No, but I do think people would go like stir crazy, even like just driving their car and like park like on nice days. Now like the weather's getting nice, just walking to your car and all. It's nice to get outside for a little bit.
Yeah,
and like that small break.
I still think the ideal thing is maybe work from home 2 or 3 times a week and go into the office 2 days a week or 3 days a week.
I think that is the best bet, and I wish companies will lean more towards that. Even especially when the weather's crappy.
Yeah, you don't want to drive in when the weather's crappy. Who wants to be stuck in like an hour traffic getting into work and an hour traffic out? Like maybe just look it up on your phone every day, and if there's like traffic that's abnormal, just stay home that day. That's my thought.
Yeah, because like in the end, when the working day is done, girls just want to have fun, Mike.
They do. The girls just want to have fun.
Move on to the next topic.
Final thing we have for today is the tech from the dead section. And this was sad when we first heard about it. Quibi died earlier this year. Or was it late last year? I don't remember now. It's so sad.
I think it was last year.
I wiped it from my memory. I was so sad. But I didn't realize Roku had purchased all the Quibi content.
Yeah, I think we talked about it.
Yeah, maybe we did, but we didn't talk about them rebranding it as Roku Originals.
I think one of my New Year's things that was going to happen that was Roku was going to get into the original like content.
You're
game.
not very confident right now, Alex.
I'm 95% sure I did.
No, you did, but this is Roku rebranding somebody else's content. So they're getting into it, but they're kind of cheating, I think.
Well, like you look at all these streaming services, like they all have a ton of like backlog stuff. No one does like, here's a new show. Except for like Apple kind of did that. And it was terrible.
Or
But,
Netflix is like, oh, check out this Cobra Kai show that we have, brand new. But people didn't realize it was a YouTube show like for a while.
No, but like Disney bought Fox in anticipation for this.
Yeah.
But HBO Max bought something. Didn't they buy somebody? Maybe.
But this just shows that Quibi's catalog was just so undesirable that Roku bought it. And we'll see what happens with it. But they said there's 75 shows. A lot of them, or a good portion of them, weren't ever released yet or were partially released on Quibi. So a lot of this stuff hasn't been seen yet. I'm surprised they spent the money to make it all. But
what is it like if it was all amazing? Like it was, it's like these shows were awesome.
That'd be hilarious if it's like the best stuff ever and people just looked it over.
Well, we should say this was supposed to be like a rest in peace section of Kirby's finally done for good. But
no, this is tech from the dead, back from the dead.
Back from the dead?
Yeah, back from the dead tech.
Well, I feel like it's more like not dead, but it was like on life support.
Reincarnated.
Yeah, like they took out the brain of Quibi and put it in Roku's body.
We'll just call this reincarnated tech of the week. Or
yeah, I like it.
Or more, yeah, better yet,
Phoenix
like
Tech.
Frankenstein's monsters tech of the week. Oh my gosh.
No, okay. So our Twitter poll this week was going to be.
I didn't even post the last week's Twitter poll.
Yeah.
We'll just scratch Twitter polls until we can come up with a good one.
No, we're doing a Twitter poll because we need feedback from the listeners. Should it be reincarnated tech of the week, Frankenstein's monster tech of the week? I don't want to say Phoenix because it's rising back from the ashes tech of the week.
Well, this is going to be different each week because it's going to be tech RAP some weeks because sometimes it's actually dead tech.
Yeah, but we have back from the dead tech. And then we have RIP tech, which is just dead tech, and then we're going to have a reincarnated. That's the one we need to figure out. Reincarnated. I think Frankenstein's monster.
Oh, this is behind the curtains. We're going to take it to the
listeners.
This is just dark. This is darkness all the way through.
No, we're going with it. That's the Twitter poll.
You have to send me the wording from this for this Twitter poll because I'm not going to remember any of this.
I will.
So, yeah, thanks for listening to this week's episode. You can find us on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram. We're done giving you the phone number because you're not going to call that thing. So
513 bot caller.
Please call it. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next week.
Bye.